Good evening, this is BrassTacks. I'm Zakir Jacob. The Prime Minister delivered the concluding address at the BJP National Executive with a clarion call that general elections are just 400 days away. He's exhorted BJP workers to win every election between now and the 2024 general. He says it has to be more than just political, it has to be a societal movement. While the BJP and PM Modi are numero uno at this point, given the huge victory that we saw in Gujarat, the big victories earlier in 2022 in Uttar Pradesh, Goa, Uttarakhand, etc., can the opposition rally around a common theme and an acceptable face? Modi versus whom? Who is going to fill in that blank? And do they have a common message to take on the election juggernaut that is the BJP?
बॉर्डर विलेजेस के साथ हमारा संपर्क ज्यादा बने, उनका मेन स्ट्रीमिंग ये हम लोग कर पाए और वहां पर हमारी एक्टिविटी बढ़े, ताकि हमारा संपर्क सूत्र भी वहां बने। 18 से 25 इस आयु के जो हमारे युवा है, इनमें भी जागृति तैयार करना, इनको भी लोकतंत्र के मूल्यों के साथ जोड़ने की कोशिश करना। एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत इस संकल्प को दोहराते हुए हमारे सारे राज्य एक दूसरे के साथ समन्वय करें।
नड्डा जी के योगदान को पार्टी आज इसकी अनुमोदना भी करती है और उसको स्वीकारते हुए इनके कार्यकाल को जून 2024 तक बढ़ाती है।
And sources are telling CNN News 18 that Prime Minister Modi asked BJP members to reach out to every section of society, including minorities and the marginalized. Specifically, he talked about the Bohras, the Pasmanda Muslims, the Sikhs, and work for them without electoral considerations. It should be more of a societal movement, is what the Prime Minister reportedly said. Let me go across to Mario Shakil, our political editor, who's breaking that story right at the top of BrassTacks. Is this in keeping with an outreach message that we've seen in the past as well from the Prime Minister? What is different about this message coming as it does, as he said, 400 days before the next general election?
Well, Zaka, I think the BJP, remember, has been carrying out Sneh Yatras, which is essentially a form of an outreach program. But I think the Prime Minister's larger message is here that reach out to the marginalized, but this is about not looking at them as a vote bank, but more to do with ensuring that the societal well-being or the societal peace is maintained. I think that's a strong message that is coming. And also to the party leader, Zaka, as sources are saying, telling us, is that there was a message that don't make unnecessary statements and you don't have to speak on every issue. Because when you speak on every issue, that tends to be the dominating headline, and the government's agenda, which is positive, which is governance driven, gets is almost on the back foot and also gets put on the back burner. So I think that message coming from the Prime Minister of an outreach to the minorities and the Muslims becomes important. Remember, he has talked about the Bohras, because they are the trader community, and the Bohras in particular have bagged the BJP in the state of Gujarat. They have bagged and they have been part of the Gujarat success story as well. Pasmanda Muslims are the poorest among the Muslims, Zaka, and that's a constituency that the BJP, remember, has realizes that has worked for them in various states, because if they are the beneficiary class, they are not really the Muslims per se. They are in the hierarchy among the Muslims. Among the Muslims, they are seen as beneficiaries of the state, and hence they can also look at BJP favorably. But I think the Prime Minister's message is not about elections, it's not about electoral gains for the party. It is more to do with the messaging of camaraderie and ensuring that there is that connect that is needed and that is being built by the party for the future.
Okay, Maria, we'll leave it at that. We'll see how this sets the tone for the BJP and indeed for the opposition as we count down to the big general election, as the Prime Minister said, 400 days between now and then. in what could be a very, very important and critical election, not just for electoral politics, but also the direction of the country in the next 5 years. Jaiveer Shergill is BJP spokesperson, Ashpreet Kadyal, Congress spokesperson, Arun Anand is consulting editor with First Post, Rashid Kidwai, author and senior journalist, and Javed Ansari, senior journalist, also joining us. Jaiveer, let me start with you first. As of the end of 2022, all the electoral successes that the BJP and Prime Minister Modi have had, whether it's Gujarat, whether it's UP before that, Uttarakhand, I mean, it was almost like whatever he touches turns into gold. Why should the BJP be so worried about 2023, the state elections, or 2024, the general election? Jairam Ramesh yesterday saying that this is all in response to Bharat Jodo and the response that Bharat Jodo is getting.
Zaka, good evening, and firstly, thank you for having me on your show. And I must declare that I was part of the National Executive meeting. And the Prime Minister's message in the National Executive was very clear. Work for all, serve all, discriminate none, and make sure India is one. Now, you talked about why should you be worried. Prime Minister is very clear the electoral successes should not turn into arrogance, should not turn into complacency. Prime Minister's mantra that prepare, perform and serve, tayari, jeet or seva. Every BJP worker must remember this. Now, Zaka, every election to the Bharatiya Janata Party matters. That is why the Prime Minister's 3D model, which is dedication to serve, delivery of all promises and development of all sections of the society, is paramount for Bharatiya Janata Party electorally, socially and economically.
Okay.
Year 2023 and 2024 electorally belongs to the Bharatiya Janata Party. Prime Minister's 10-year report card, vision for the next 20 years for India matters. And let me tell you very candidly, Zaka, because I was in the meeting, Mr. Fadnavis has also briefed. Prime Minister has communicated crisply and clearly. Our connect with BJP's connect to the society should not only be weighed in the scales of votes. The paramount is the interest of the nation, interest of the society.
Okay.
Having said that, BJP is election ready, mission ready, and you will see 2024 BJP will break its own record of highest number of Lok Sabha seats.
Okay, we'll see about that. Let me ask Ashpreet Kadyal. Ashpreet Kadyal, whether you like it or not, there are two new classes of voters or vote banks, if you will, that Mr. Modi and the BJP have created over the last 8 years. One is this Labharti class, the people who've got 10 crore toilets, 4 crore Ujjwala gas cylinders, 40 crore Jandan accounts. There is today a Labharti class, whether you like it or not, that is voting for Mr. Modi, particularly in the Hindi heartland states. And the second is the Hindutva vote bank. Come 2024, and you've already heard what Home Minister Amit Shah said, that in January of 2024, the Ram temple will be built. Whether it is the Kashi Vishwanath Dham, whether it is the Ujjain Mahakal corridor, or whether it is Char Dham, there is now a Hindutva vote bank that is deeply enamored by and trusting of Mr. Modi. These two vote banks, the Labharti class and the Hindutva vote bank, you cannot deny. And frankly, the opposition has not come up with a convincing answer to these two vote banks in the last 8 years.
See, one thing definitely has to be given to the Bharatiya Janata Party. They're very good at this. They're very good at copying the policies, the deeds of other people, other parties, and presenting as if it were their own. More than 24 of policies of the Congress party have been copied by the BJP and therefore have been implemented. Number two, the Bharatiya Janata Party is having to do all these meetings because they are perturbed with the Bharat Jodo Yatra, with the astounding success it has turned into, with the amount of people it has connected with, and with the expose that the Bharatiya Janata Party is been subjected to. Everybody knows it for a fact that the BJP hasn't done an ounce of work. And number two, the BJP is also perturbed with the recent result that has come. They had all three. They had Gujarat, they had Himachal, and they had the MCD. They are just left with one now. Number two, Mr. Modi saying that go and reach out to the voters, meet with them, convince them. Well, why does he not say go and work, go and beget development, beget welfare, open schools, open medical institutions, nothing like that.
No, but Ashpreet, let's talk electoral brass tacks, right? In the year 2022, the first set of elections, which was the 5 states. BJP won 4 out of 5, including the biggest state in the country, Uttar Pradesh. In the last set of assembly elections that we had, Gujarat, they came back to power after 27 years with the biggest mandate that the BJP has seen. Please tell me what gives the Congress party hope that in 2023, the assembly elections, or in 2024, you will be able to match the electoral success of the BJP?
The thing that gives the Congress party and the people of India hope is the fact that the Bharatiya Janata Party has not even delivered an ounce of its promises, whether it be 15 lakhs, whether it be the 2 crore jobs that they had promised per year, or it be the doubling of farmers' income, decreasing prices. Everybody
but that has not stopped the people of India and people of different
high.
states from voting for the BJP, Ashpreet. Election after
That does
election.
not- May I say this? Even if they have won, that does not mean that they have delivered on the promise. These two things cannot be connected, Zaka.
Okay.
Winning is a different thing and not delivering is another. You cannot say just because the BJP has won, everything has been done and delivered.
Okay, before I go to the experts, I'll give
started-
Jaivir a chance to rebut very quickly, and then I'll go to our experts. Yeah, Jaivir.
Zaka, your show has always been known for facts, figures, and stats. So I'm going to put some things in perspective. Number one, my young friend from the Congress said about copying. Mr. Kharge on 10th December 2022, after taking over the president, preached to the Congress workers, please learn from the BJP. I have a statement. Please attract leaders like BJP attract leaders. Please travel rural villages and cities like Mr. Amit Shah, Mr. Modi and Mr. Naddda does. So today, the Congress itself has realized BJP's electoral strength, Prime Minister, the magic of Prime Minister's public connect, which resulted in Mr. Kharge making this statement in Karnataka itself after taking over as a president.
Okay.
Number two, Prime Minister's model of development has been electorally stamped. Congress's politics of appeasement has been rejected. I'm going to give you a few stats. 2014 to 2022, out of 53 elections, Congress has lost 47. In Uttar Pradesh election, 98% of Congress candidates, the deposit was forfeited.
Deposits,
in
yeah.
Gujarat, the recent elections, out of 77 seats, they come down to under 20, and 44 candidates lose their deposit.
Okay.
The Bharat Jodo Yatra travels through Telangana. 3rd November, 7 by-poll results are announced. 7. Congress does not even open account in 1. Telangana,
Okay.
which was their seat, they lose at a margin of 37,000.
No, one second.
Now, having said that,
By-polls
BJP
are never a barometer or an indication of what is going on ground. But let me get Arun Anand. I think to a limited extent, even the BJP has to concede that the Bharat Jodo Yatra has, for starters, changed the image of Rahul Gandhi. Nobody sort of derisively refers to him in pejorative terms. I don't want to use the term, but nobody refers to him in pejorative terms anymore. No one calls him a non-serious politician. You can't walk 20-25 kilometers a day for the last 120 days, whatever your cause may be, from 3,500 kilometers from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, and then be called non-serious. So has the image of Rahul Gandhi undergone a change? Leave alone what electoral success may beget out of it. It may or may not. But has the image of Rahul Gandhi undergone a change?
The image of Rahul Gandhi, when there are short stints when, sometimes, the image gets a makeover. The problem is, he does something, or the party, Congress does something, that they're back to the square one. Because I remember that, when Charanjit Singh Channi was put up as, the chief ministerial candidate, as a chief minister of Punjab. So it was hailed as, that Rahul Gandhi has, really taken an initiative, has become a mature politician, that Dalit leader has been, put as the chief minister, and this could be the game changer. But then we know that what happened in, Punjab, and subsequently how Congress lost the plot in Punjab. So I would say, these are very short-term this thing. Yes, it does look, and, being part of the media also, and the Indian psyche is that we always tend to, back the underdogs somehow. So that is also one of the reasons. But having said that, I just want to, bring one thing into this discussion. See, when you win an election, or when you, expand your footprint, or the way BJP has been growing and dominating the political scene, it's a combination of factors. Like you need to have a leader who leads from the front. You need to have an organizational cadre. You need to have an ideological roadmap which is very clear, and you need to have a very well-oiled machinery of party. And then your governments have to deliver things on the ground. And one last point, I was listening to the Congress spokesperson. To a large extent, see, there is a policy in India. It's a democracy, government saying, but the continuity in the policies remain. What Narendra Modi has done is he has used technology, like what he did with the DBT, to plug the leakages. And that is what is basically, as you were saying, Zaka, that there is a Labharti class. These schemes were already there, but there were huge leakages.
Okay.
Rajiv Gandhi is known for saying,
let me ask Javed Ansari. One critical question, it was asked in 2019 and we saw the results of it, and it's going to be asked in 2024 as well. What is going to happen to principal regional parties? Tomorrow, Mr. KCR has called this grand campaign event in Khammam. I believe that Arvind Kejriwal is going to be there, Pinarayi Vijayan is going to be there, he's called other leaders as well. End of this month, when the Bharat Jodo concludes, the Congress party has called for 20 opposition leaders to join Rahul Gandhi. We don't know which of them will actually show up. The question marks that still remain. Where will a Mamata Banerjee go? Will she rally around the leadership of a Rahul Gandhi? Will a KCR agree to the leadership of a Rahul Gandhi? What about Arvind Kejriwal, who believes, rightfully or wrongly, that he is the replacement for the Congress? He is the natural replacement for the Congress. The Congress, he believes, is not willing to put up a fight with the BJP or is not able to put up a fight with the BJP. Therefore, it's the AAP that's the natural challenger to the BJP. These questions, do you believe that the opposition will be able to resolve these questions in time for 2024?
Well, if they don't resolve it, they don't have a hope in hell. There's no single party in the opposition which on its own can take on the BJP. Unless all of them band together, and it's a big if. If all of them band together, then perhaps there can be a fight, or else you can write it off. So they can very well act on their own and protect their own citadels, but in the overall scheme of things, when it comes to government formation at the center, they will be nowhere on the scene. So for the opposition to survive as an entity, all of them have to band together. And whether or not they will agree before the elections to a single leader, you don't have to. We have with us the example of 2004. Manmohan Singh was not the projected leader. Nobody was projected. Yet they came together, and then whoever had the numbers. So I do believe that purely out of their self-survival instincts, they will probably closer to the elections, not now, but much closer to the elections, they may possibly band together. Because if they don't, then there is no light at the end of the tunnel.
Rashid Kidwai, between now and 2024, we have 9 state assembly elections this year, starting with Karnataka and then 3 northeastern states. Then, of course, towards the end of the year, you have Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh. And then the big one, the general, in 2024. The Congress believes, again, rightly or wrongly, they stand a good chance in Karnataka. They may be able to upset in Madhya Pradesh. Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, no one quite knows. But is there any bearing to how the Congress may or may not perform this year to it being the principal pole to take on the BJP in 2024? You look at what again happened between 2018 and 2019. Congress won just 3 or 4 months before the big Lok Sabha of 2019. It won Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh. At that time, it was said, the Congress is going to give a serious challenge to the BJP. And look at what happened in the 2019 general. The BJP got an even bigger mandate. Mr. Modi got an even bigger mandate in 2019 than he got in 2014.
Absolutely. I think, Zaka, that's where I think Rahul Gandhi is aware of all these things. Therefore, he is not pitching himself as a prime ministerial candidate. He may, by virtue of his Bharat Jodo Yatra and the response he is getting, he may have earned some element of respect among his potential allies. So, there has to be a vacancy. If the BJP falls short of 272 and if it's really short of like 225 seats plus or something, I think we'll have a real scenario where somebody, so this is the best scenario for regional parties, for Mamata and rest to, grab the top post of Prime Minister. And the Congress, unless Congress does very well, gets 120, 130 Lok Sabha seats, which at this point of time looks very far-fetched. To my mind, Zaka, there are 4 states which are extremely crucial for winner and loser for 2024. We can go on say that it is advantage Narendra Modi and BJP, but you have state of Bengal, you have state of Bihar, you have state of Maharashtra and Karnataka. In terms of Lok Sabha seats, 158 seats. At present, the BJP is sitting over 125 seats. If there is a 50-50, divide in these 4 states, which is in the realm of possibilities because a lot of equations have changed. I'm talking about alliances, etc. If that happens, then I see the BJP in real trouble.
We talked about this ahead of 2019 as well, Rashid. I mean, at that time, Mayawati and Akhilesh Yadav had joined hands, UP, 80 seats. Can the BJP take on this massive caste coalition that Mayawati and Akhilesh had put up? And look at what happened at the end of it. BJP got 61 and these two between them, they got around 20. But be that as it may, I think I go back to what Arun Anand said, and I want to ask Ashpreet Kadyal this. To win modern day elections, and this has been the transformation in how elections are won or lost post Mr. Modi, you need to have a leader. Clearly that is a big draw, especially for the Lok Sabha elections when Mr. Modi is on the ticket. There is an incremental 10 to 15% extra vote that comes because there is that big face. And right now, let's face it, all the other analysts also said, there is no leader in the opposition who can match Mr. Modi's stature. Number 2, you need to have an ideology. What does the opposition today stand for? Forget about the opposition, Ashpreet. What does the Congress party stand for? Because on the one day, Rahul Gandhi says, Bharat Jodo, we need communal amity in this country. The other day, he's practicing soft Hindutva, going into temples, saying he's a Shiv Bhakt. What is the ideological alternative that the Congress party is offering to this quote-unquote Hindutva vote bank that the BJP has managed to cultivate in the last 8 years?
One, Zaka, answering all your questions, we are not living in a presidential form of government. We live in a parliamentary form of government. Number 2, we do not have a single leader, is what you said. We have more than a dozen leaders, more than 2 dozen leaders who are more than perfect to be the Prime Minister of India and are way, way better than Mr. Modi. Number 3, you said, what is the Congress party all about? Congress party is all about development. It is all about welfare. It is all about the people standing back in the queue. It is all against nafrat that the Bharatiya Janata Party is about. Even, in fact, the message of why is nafrat chodo and Bharat Jodo. We are against inflation. We are against unemployment. We are against communalism. We are against hatred. And that is what the Congress party is all about. And number 2, my younger friend from the Bharatiya Janata Party just said, that Mr. Kharge also had to say to his own leaders, learn something from the Bharatiya Janata Party. He probably meant the way Bharatiya Janata Party does advertising, branding, marketing, even though they wouldn't have done a single thing on the ground, wouldn't have a single accomplishment.
Ashpreet, I tell you what, no matter how great advertising and branding you have, management experts will tell you the underlying thing that sells is the product. If you have a bad product, no matter how much advertising and branding you have, it can't make up for a bad product. But let me ask, once again. Well, let me ask Javeer. Javeer, I think one of the critical factors is, and I think this was evident in the Gujarat results, it was evident in the state assembly elections before. The BJP's bulk of electoral success is on the back of the Modi card. One second, Ashpreet, please. Let me ask Javeer the question. Please, Ashpreet, thank you. Javeer on the screen. The bulk of the BJP's electoral success happens to be on the Modi card, which is why even today the Prime Minister in his concluding address reportedly said that Modi alone is not going to win everything. You need to work. At some point, is that going to come home to roost?
Zaka, fair question. Firstly, let me be very clear. BJP there is no comms. BJP's electoral success works on the perfect formula of leadership and policy. Neta, Niti and Netitva. Prime Minister Modi's leader, he is the leader, his leadership and the government's policy, which is carried on effectively by all ministers and communicated to the people by all the Karyakartas. Number 2, Zaka, you spoke about, coming home. You said ideology. To win any election along with ideology, you need to have an agenda as well. BJP has the ideology and agenda. Now, this election is going to be what? It is going to be BJP's politics of building toilets, border infrastructure, 220 crore vaccine doses versus Congress politics of demoralizing our forces, dividing the society. You spoke about Bharat Jodo Yatra. Let's test this case. Let me be very clear, and I'm going to confess openly on your show. Bharat Jodo Yatra is electorally going to benefit the Bharatiya Janata Party in 2023 election, and there is a reason. The only messaging which has come from Bharat Jodo Yatra is anti-India, anti-peace and anti-Sikhs. Mr. Rahul Gandhi did not communicate or give an alternative blueprint to the nation. His message to the nation in Bharat Jodo Yatra was, Chinese are beating our soldiers. To Kamal Hassan, he names India as a confused nation without a vision. He goes and meets a priest who practically has abused the Hindu gods, has said India's land is impure. He crowns Jagdish Titler. He's hobnobbing people who are considered anti-India elements. So Bharat Jodo Yatra's agenda, first there is a confusion within the Congress camp. It is like Arvind Kejriwal odd even scheme. Odd days he says India has lot of hate. Even days he says, I walked 2,800 kilometers. There is no hate. There is no nafrat.
Okay.
So BJP is working with a specific agenda of building toilets, of building infrastructure, vaccine, whereas Congress is still finding it's going through an existential crisis.
The thing it comes back to, and I think this is where 2014 was lost by the Congress, 2019 was lost by the Congress, and who knows what's going to happen in 2024, but this is going to be an absolute determinant. In the 2019 election, the direct fights out of the 543 Lok Sabha constituencies, the direct fights between BJP and Congress were in 180 constituencies. The BJP won 160 plus of those 180 constituencies. Do you see any reason to believe, including the Bharat Jodo Yatra, where a lot of people supposedly are involved with that yatra, are joining Rahul Gandhi in the yatra, but do you see any reason on ground for that number to change substantially? 160 out of 180 seats where there was a direct fight between Congress and BJP.
No, I don't see any change in that. In fact, I think, the BJP scorecard could be better because, Congress is a, kind of a, what you call dying party, unfortunately. There had to have, it was a centrist party. It has moved to, towards radical left after Rahul Gandhi has taken over as reins of the party, and that's why there is a huge disconnect. So that's why, this nafrat ki bazaar mein mohabbat ki dukaan lagate hain. These are all, slogans from, typical JNU kind of this thing. They don't cut much ice with this thing. And one last thing which I want to say, Zaka, is that ironically, this political thing has become full circle because the problem is, earlier, when BJP was in opposition, it was always indulging in counter narrative like an anti-Congress campaign.
Okay.
But now you have to, if you want to win the Lok Sabha elections, you have to have a narrative of your own. Congress is building on counter narrative through Bharat Chodo Yatra and other things.
Okay.
The rest, they don't have a narrative.
Javed, one of the things, and I'll extend what Arun Anand was trying to say, is basically today the Congress party, whether they like it or not, has been painted as A, anti-national, B, representing a very small minority of people in JNU and their thinking, the left liberal cabal, as it were. Whether that's the reality on the ground or not, this is the image that's been painted of the Congress over the last 8 years, and nothing has been done by the Congress to change that image, to change that narrative. And that is what is costing the Congress party.
It's the BJP that's been voting
Javed,
and making
Javed, please. Your name is not Javed Ashpreet. Please yield. Yeah. Javed Ansari, thank you.
Allow some time to...
I will come back to you. Yes, I will come back to you. Yes, thank you.
Well, so the Congress and its political managers believe that the Bharat Jodo Yatra has, to a large extent, tried to undo the damage that was done to the BJP, to the Congress party's image, that they were this false narrative that was thrust upon them. We are talking of numbers, and I see my good friend Mr. Shergill smiling. I also marvel at the smooth transition and the passion that he speaks with. Perhaps it's the passion of a fresh convert, but that besides the point. We were talking of numbers. In the BJP during the last elections in Bihar, the BJP in tandem with JDU won 49 seats. Today there is a situation in that state where BJP is all alone and 13 parties are ranged against it. Will Mr. Shergill or anybody else try and explain to me how and where they will make up those 49 seats? So it's not that the BJP is home and dry. there are chunks, there are weaknesses that can be exploited. Will the opposition be in a position? Well, right now they are not. But I do believe that their sheer survival instincts will bring them together and come closer to the elections, and perhaps then they may be able to put up a fight.
Quick response to Javed, because I think the point that he's making is both in Maharashtra as well as in Bihar. In Bihar, out of the 40 seats, I think BJP last time won 38 or 39. Again, in Maharashtra, out of the 48 seats, the BJP and Shiv Sena won 42 out of 48. There was a sense that in some of these states you have maxed out. The political positions on ground have changed between 2019 and 2024. Where are you going to make up for these losses? Quickly.
Zaka, firstly, I thank him for the left-handed compliment, and I'm just going to say I am proud of the transition, number one. So neither have any qualms. I speak with absolute conviction. Number two, BJP is very well aware of the gaps, of the loopholes it needs to plug in for the next Lok Sabha elections. Despite sounding electoral success in 2022, BJP is already on the ground, identified more than 160 Lok Sabha seats where we need to work extra hard, which traditionally did not come to the BJP. So BJP is neither lost in a cuckoo land because of our great electoral victories. We will contest every seat, thinking that our opponent is strong. We will prepare, as I said, prepare, perform and deliver. That's going to be the mantra of Bharatiya Janata Party, and our homework is absolute, and we'll be completely in the fight.
Rashid, before I give Rashid the final word, Ashpreet, yes, quick closing comment, and then Rashid will give the final word. Yeah.
If the Bharatiya Janata Party can win twice at the Lok Sabha elections, after coming from a point at which they were at 2 seats, we are at a way better position. Number two, the Bharatiya Janata Party's only expertise is Operation Lotus. Goa, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Assam, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Arunachal, Manipur, Meghalaya, Punjab, Telangana. This is the only reason as to why they have been able to win elections. Number three, Mr. Nadda's tenure has been enhanced. This is going to backfire. And this goes on to suggest the double standards of the Bharatiya Janata Party, because they used to question our electoral process, internal electoral process, used to put questions to us. Have they not even asked themselves if Mr. Naddha was elected in the first place?
Okay.
And
Anyway, the elections are not for internal party president anymore. It's for the Lok Sabha. But I'll give Rashid the final word. I think where the opposition is missing a trick or two in terms of just electoral campaigning, and this is again another a facet that's changed after Modi burst onto the national scene from 2014. And he said this, I think, in the campaign for Gujarat or Himachal in the last assembly elections, where he said, forget about who the MLA candidate is, forget about who the MP candidate is. Every vote is for Modi. So when the BJP fights on 543 Lok Sabha seats, every constituency, it's Modi who is the candidate. The vote is for Modi. The point is, can the opposition find 543 candidates who can take on Modi in each of those constituencies?
Yes, Zaka, that scenario exists. It depends whether the elections are, under normal circumstances or there is something extraordinary. You keep referring to 2019. 2019 election, it was a pre-Balakot and post-Balakot scenario. So there are a lot of emotive issues that are there in the country and that have a potential to really, transform and change any election. It's only time will tell. If there is a normal course of election, then I would say that in spite of many weaknesses and contradictions and chaotic nature, absence of leadership, opposition has a strong case.
Okay, I'll tell you what, I think I already know what is the big event that will happen before 2024 elections, and that is going to be the inauguration of the Ram Mandir. It's going to happen in January. Elections are going to be from March onwards. So that is going to be one big thing. And like I said, I keep going back to this. I think the manner in which Narendra Modi has changed electoral politics in this country, whether it is creating a Labharti vote bank, whether it is creating a Hindutva vote bank, and most importantly, those three things that Arun mentioned. You have to have a larger-than-life leader, an ideology that is committed, and most importantly, an organization. In Gujarat, for example, and people keep talking about these Panna Pramukhs, they had 3 Panna Pramukhs for every constituency. I mean, that is the depth of the organizational sort of machinery that the BJP has built, not just in that state, but across the country over the last 8 years. That's a wrap. It's going to be a fascinating election, this 2024 general, and we're counting it down right here on India's #1 election destination, CNN News 18. Let's now take a quick break. When we come back, this is a big story from the United Nations Security Council. Abdul Rahman Makki, the brother-in-law of Hafiz Mohammed Saeed, one of the key accused in the 2611 case, has now been blacklisted after China lifts its technical hold. Details are on the other side.